Welcome to Blitz on Windstream Channel 4. I'm Brian Carter. We start the show here at Banks County High School with Leopards head football coach Phillip Jones. Coach, as always, it's a pleasure having you on Blitz.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Glad to be on.
Now, Coach, this is going to be your second year, your first year at the helm. You go 7-4, runner-up in Region 8 AA. Not only earn a trip to the state playoffs, but for only the third time in school history, you get to host a state playoff game. What are your feelings on your first year here at Banks County?
Well, it was a great first year. You know, everything was real fast and furious. I was a first-year head coach as long as being my first year here at Banks County. And, you know, it worked out really well. I've got a great staff, very fortunate to have a great group of guys to support me and are going to do right by these kids and are good ball coaches and good men. And but it was a great start. We're very fortunate to have a great group of kids here that responded well to the vision and the leadership that we tried to establish, and they responded well, and it ended up being a good year. There was a few games that kind of came down to the wire, and ended up pulling them out. I think a lot of that has to do with the kind of kids we've got and their toughness and tenacity and kind of that don't quit attitude, and so yeah, it ended up. It was we're very pleased to have the first year we had.
Tenacity, you just mentioned, is going to be key this year because things are going to be a little different with that region realignment. You're now stepping up a classification into 7 AAA. You add a powerhouse team like Buford in there, and I don't think any coach likes having them in their region. But you've also got some other teams. You know, you're familiar with Dawson County because they moved up with you, but they've seemingly come into their own. This is supposed to be a big year for them. White County, a young up-and-coming group, and North Hall, you always got to throw them in the mix. How do you expect your team to go out and compete this year as opposed to, last year?
Well, I think we're going to be very competitive. You know, we set the expectations high that we want to be a playoff team every year, and hopefully even beyond that. And I think our kids believe in that and believe they can be. And we do. You know, our schedule will be more challenging. We looked at it. It's 5-5, 5 teams that we played last year, and 5 teams we didn't, and that includes non-region games. But we like our group. We like especially our group of senior leaders, and the fact that they've had some success, especially experienced a good bit of success for the last 2 years, having 7-win seasons the last 2 years in a row. And I think that's kind of what they expect by now, is to have a good year and to come win these close games, and we're real excited about the fact that we've had a year of preparation, especially in the off season, to prepare for this year. We think we do a great job in our strength and conditioning program in the off season, and I think those things are going to show this fall.
One thing that hit me when I looked at the region realignment is that only Buford and yourself, out of all the teams in the region, are the only 2 that made state last year. So obviously you're going to have the bullseye on the back this year a little bit with other teams going after you guys. Talk about having to replace or how you plan to move forward without, you lost 2 key offensive players last year. You're blessed to bring back your senior quarterback, Tyler Hubbard. But you did lose Dean Ewing, a senior who rushed for 1,600 yards last year, and Marquez Maddox as well. How are things offensively going forward to this point?
We're excited about our offense. We're transitioning a little bit more to a spread offense, and that allows Tyler to run a little bit more. And we've got 2 good running backs coming back. We've got Wes Faulkner, and we also have returning starter Tanner Thompson. Both. Wes is not the same kind of runner. The Dean was more of a bruiser. He was just kind of between the tackles guy. Wes is a little bit more of a slasher and speed guy. And we're excited about him. We're excited about Kevin Mayfield, who's also going to be in the mix at tailback. And at receiver, Marquez was a good player for us last year, but Greg Cannon is also an excellent receiver for us, who's coming back from last year and also plays in secondary. So we did lose some good seniors, and it's unfortunate we had to lose them, but we got some great guys, I think, that are going to come back and fill those spots admirably.
Yeah, it looks like Tyler will still have some weapons to go to this year. Now look at the other side of the ball in defense. I understand is a big strength for you guys this year. You got, I believe, 8 starters returning from last year. I think there is some depth concerns, dropping off, especially with the DBs. But talk about the defense and how much pressure, or I guess how much on the team's success is going to ride on the defense's shoulders this year.
I think a great deal. Like you said, we've got a veteran group, especially at linebacker, and we feel real good about our group. Those guys played really well the other night in our scrimmage, but we've got guys coming back all over that defense, and they play with a good deal of attitude, and anyway, we've noticed that from day one, especially going against them every day in practice. I'm more on the offensive side of the ball. That those guys very sure of themselves, and they're playing fast. And when in football you can't think too much, you got to just react and play, and that's what those guys are doing. And so I think we are going to have to lean on those guys a good bit this fall.
Now, last question for you, Coach, and then we'll let you go. But looking at your schedule, every year is always a tough schedule all the way through, it seemed like, in Region 8 AA. But this year, again, when you throw in Buford, and then you've got White County in the mix and North Hall, teams like that, and Dawson County again, which was a very tough game here last year, and you got them again. But no game's a given. And I know you don't like throwing out predictions, but where would you like to see your team at season's end? Where do you predict they'll
Well,
be?
like I said earlier, I mean, I think we expect to be a playoff team, and we've got to win at least 4 of our region games to do that, and I think that we got a great chance to do that, and so I'm not going to make a prediction about which teams those may be, as I don't know, but I like our team, I like our character, I like the fact that I think when times are going to get tough, they're going to rise up and make plays and do good things, and as we progress in the season, I think that's going to sort of carry us through and help us endure. So.
Well, Coach Jones, thank you again so much for your time on Blitz. We appreciate it. Look forward to you guys playing deep into the postseason this year.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to have senior signal caller Tyler Hubbard here on Blitz.